Hey, my name is Craig Gross. Thanks for watching this three-part video series on how to sell online. I'm gonna hopefully make it super practical and easy for you after watching these three videos to just jump right in. But let me start out by just giving you a little bit of history about me. Well, I started selling at 14. It wasn't online because we didn't have the internet back then. That's how old I am. But at 14, I decided I'm quitting this job at Burger King. My dad ran the place. I hated it. And I started selling baseball cards. Not in between classes at school and like all the other kids. What I started doing was actually selling as a dealer at card shows across, Sacramento, where I grew up. The Holiday Inn, the Howard Johnson, on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. My friend and I realized, hey, we can get a seller's permit. We can actually pay the fee to be a dealer, and we can actually make great money at this. And then during the week, we went to classified ads. We went to just a number of places that we can go to find stuff, whether it was Costco or a number of the places where the releases would happen. It's a lot kind of back in the day, like what are happening with shoes and some of this kind of hype clothing today where, man, you can just resell this stuff. And so that's what I started doing. Fast forward, I go to college. I think I want to go into ministry. And so after working for a church for a little bit, I started my own organization, which is a nonprofit. And so you might be watching this and you might be a solopreneur. You might be an entrepreneur. You might be running a nonprofit. You might be running a for-profit. Everything that I'm going to share with you is good for any of those cases, because if you run a nonprofit, you still need to create money so you can run this charity. If you run a for-profit, obviously you need to create products so you can make a profit. So the list goes on. I think what we have right now is this unique opportunity to sell online like never before. And so for me, before I got into college, actually right towards the end of college, I got a computer. So this was like, say, 96-ish, 95, 96. Cost me like $3,000 for this computer, and ended up buying this computer. And it was, there were so many opportunities early on in the internet. My friend and I, we were like, you know what we could do? He worked at Suzuki, and they had a huge scanner printer at his office, and nobody had access to this stuff. So our first online adventure was Pick for You. PIC for you. We got a P.O. box where you could actually mail us your photos and we'll scan it at his office, and then we'll send you an email with your photo for it. Well, you think that was crazy. Well, nobody had digital stuff back then. Go on for a few years. I have this, like I said, this nonprofit now, and we're speaking across the country, and I was creating income that way and through donations. But I was just like, man, we sold products at the events. Why couldn't we create a store and sell them online? So I started GetT-shirts.com, and it was just a number of t-shirts that we had at our booth, and now you could buy online, and we shipped them out of our garage. It was a fun season where it was just like, man, people were starting to buy online. There was an opportunity. My same roommate that I did Pick for You, whatever that website was, he went on to actually start GetBoards.com, which is still existing today, where they sell skis, they sell snowboards. They have 2 locations in Big Bear, and they have a huge online presence. And so it's just kind of fun to see like the early days of the internet and all the opportunities there that were there then. And now there's different opportunities today. And so I tell you all that to tell you, I've been around this space for a really long time. In 2002, I actually started a website dealing with the topic of pornography. We didn't sell anything at the time on that website, but it was just about content. It was just about safety. It was just about creating a tribe and a community that were rallied around one topic that we saw as this like destructive thing that was happening. We launched that. We got huge publicity, and obviously marketing, all that kind of thing was just new to us. Like, had no idea what we were doing early on, but we knew we had something that was unique. That website's gone on to have over 100 million visitors since we launched in 2002. We've learned a lot. We've learned how to now create some other opportunities because of that audience. Because if you have an audience that's following you on Instagram, or they're following you on Facebook, or they're following you somewhere, you have an opportunity now to create some products and some things to that tribe, to your audience, that are unique to you that I couldn't do because I don't have that audience that's looking to me for those things. Several years ago, I met a friend named Jeff, who was a he burst onto the scene with this video that went viral on YouTube. 30-something million plays on YouTube. We met because it was on the topic of religion. It was a spoken word piece. And as we became to kind of become better friends, I just saw all sorts of opportunities for Jeff now that he had this huge audience. He actually got married, he went on, he's got 2 kids now. And what I saw his opportunity was not just in poetry and spoken word, but now he has this young family and he has this young audience that follows him that are looking for advice when it comes to marriage. And so Jeff and I started working together on creating products for his audience, from challenge videos to books, to now recently even launched a membership site to his community. And so we went on from doing those things to, obviously a lot of people said, hey, what are you doing with Jeff? Or Jeff, they would ask Jeff, hey, what are you guys doing? Jeff would say, yeah, it's my friend Craig and I, we're kind of doing this thing on the side. And now we've started this for-profit company that's actually designed just to sell products online for social influencers, for artists, for authors, maybe even some of you that are watching this. We work with a lot of people with huge audiences, but there's those people that come to us that we're like, man, they don't have an audience yet, but they have this killer product or they have this killer idea that you go, oh man, like, yes, we want to help you get that out to the world. So that's what I've been up to. That's a little bit about me, but here's what I want to get to at these videos. Number one is everyone has a niche. And you might go, oh, well, I'm not the best at this, but there's a good chance you know something that somebody else doesn't know. Now, doesn't mean, like I said, you have to be the biggest expert in that field, but if you know just enough more than the person next to you and you have an audience, or maybe you don't have an audience. So let's back up here. Now, let me just give you a ton of ideas, and these are all real life people that I know. I know a guy, and he wasn't a professional tennis player, but he played through college. What he knows how to do, though, is market online. And so he has a whole website that actually teaches tennis courses online. I have an old friend, Steven. He was an intern of mine years ago, and he would always talk to me about peaches. This guy started making peach milkshakes at summer camp for as long as he remembers. His family, I think a couple cousins removed or somebody has a family farm, and so all I'd hear about is peaches. Chick-fil-A, oh, peaches are coming out. We got the peach shakes. He went on to take that love for peaches, that he knew more about peaches than I did, and he created the Peach Truck, a huge online business, and actually a market offline as well, where they go to farmers markets and they go to different shops through the peach season, and they sell millions of dollars of peaches that are coming from his family farm, but he's better at branding, he's better at marketing, and he's better about his love for peaches than the guy next to him. My buddy, he's an acting coach, and he was in LA. He wasn't Macaulay Culkin as a kid, but he was a child actor, so he knew the ins and outs of that. But he took that love for acting and for kids, and he created an acting studio. He actually moved away from LA into Atlanta, which is a huge market, and he can be a big fish in a small pond there. Created probably the best acting studio in Atlanta, and now he's taking that love for acting, love for coaching, and he's developed a whole online business. Maybe so another friend of mine, his wife, and we're working with this gal, super talented. She's a speech therapist, so she had to get her master's degree in that. And so I don't care, if you spent that kind of money on your education, you've learned something that the average person hasn't learned. And you're being paid full-time to go do that for a living. And that's great. Maybe you're watching this video and you go, I love my job. Maybe you love what you do, but you hate going to work to do that. In this case, Danielle doesn't hate her job, loves her job, but there's this problem with the field that she's in. Most of the people that need help, the parents are coming in, and the insurance only pays for 3 to 4 sessions with her, and that's not long enough. I was just like, hey, why don't you put whatever you do in session with the kids on camera and sell that, whether it's the R's and the S's or the kid can't speak yet. And you could do that for a job, or you can take your love for that, put it online, and she's like, well, yeah, are you the best speech therapist? I don't know, you're getting paid pretty well to do this, so you don't have to be the best, the biggest expert, the biggest voice, the biggest authority on this topic. Because you have a niche audience that wants to know and they want to learn something from you. Identify something that you know how to do and teach that online. Put that for sale online. Develop a market around that, and we'll get to that here in these next couple of videos, but I want you in this first video just to start thinking about where that is. And so there's a chance it's that stuff that's right at the top of your head. identify what that market is. Now here, maybe you developed by accident, like my friend Jeff, where he put a poem out online, didn't even want to go into poetry and spoken word. It wasn't even his love, but that got him an audience. Maybe, your situation is like, hey, you don't have a product yet, but you have an audience. Let me tell you, that's a great problem to have, because building an audience around your niche is tougher. And so I'm not gonna, promise you, oh, well, we can do this and that. No, that's hard. If you have followers right now and you have an audience and you have not developed products, you're underserving your audience. You can talk yourself out of this all day long. Like, well, I'm not an expert. I wasn't the best. It doesn't matter. If you have a following, or even if you don't have a following and you know more than the person next to you, man, I want to run with people that run faster than me. Like that's motivating. And so if you figured out some of these things and you're ahead of the next person, maybe not by miles, but maybe just in a little small measure, hey, you've learned some things. So be thinking right now, when I say everyone has a niche, what is it that you love to do? What is it that you know how to do better than the person next to you? That's where the best stuff starts with, out of that passion, out of that. If you just hit record on this video camera where you don't even have to look at notes, you're going, man, I know how to do this. My friend's wife is one of the top sellers of essential oils. We haven't done this course yet, but I was just like, hey, you should have your wife teach how she got to the top. Because on a lot of those kind of pyramid, multi-level marketing deals, like it's hard to get to the top. And if you figure that out, beyond selling oils, you want to help other people down below you get to the level you're at, because that's just obviously money in your pocket. There's that idea of going, no, there's the knowledge in the oils, but now there's the knowledge in how I've built this team and how I've put this, kind of company together below me. The best stuff is going to come from your experience, is going to come from your knowledge, is going to come from what your tribe, if you already have one, what they're asking you for. In these next two videos, I'm going to talk about the two strategies that I would start with. Once you've identified what it is that your niche market is, what your niche product is, or what your audience that you've already assembled, what they're asking for, I'm going to tell you in these next two videos where to go, how to launch, and how to start selling online. So I hope that helps. Follow up on the next video and we'll get going on this. Thanks for watching.